Hi family, welcome back to our channel. This is Nikki and I'm so happy to come back into your lives today just to speak another word of encouragement, another word of inspiration, motivation to you today. Thank all of you for what you all consistently do every day on our channel. I am so appreciative. And I know that God is going to bless you. God is going to reward you for every single act of obedience that you do. Your act of obedience, family, is getting you that much closer to where you need to be and to where you desire to be. I pray that God will always bless each and every one of you. I pray that God will keep you and prosper you in everything that you do, because God is going to do that. God is not going to do anything less. Why? Because God is not like man. God is not going to promise you anything. He's not going to renege on that promise. God is not going to change his mind. God tells us that the giftings and callings of God are without repentance. That means God is not going to change his mind about you at all. There's nothing that you can do to change God's mind about you. There is nothing that you can do to stop God from loving you. Isn't that amazing, family of God? I want to let you know, I want to let you in on a golden nugget regarding why some of your relationships didn't make it. Pride. A lot of people were in their pride and they gave up because they didn't want to admit they're wrong. When people don't want to admit they're at fault, when people don't want to take accountability, when people don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, their ego and their pride is going to govern their life. And unfortunately, some of you may have gone through this. This person didn't want to admit a wrong. They didn't want to open up to you. They didn't want to be vulnerable to you. So they gave up. They walked away from your, family of God. But just know that every step that you make has been ordered by God. Whatever has happened, it didn't take God by surprise. And God is going to use your rejection to put you in a place where you're going to be received by so many people. You know, rejection protects us. When people reject us, and when people refuse to let us in places where we know we have a right to be in, whenever you encounter things like this, whenever you experience things of this nature, I want you to know what God is going to do with that rejection. First of all, God sees where you can't see. God hears things that you cannot hear. And he knows everything. He's omniscient. God is all-knowing. God heard a lot of conversations about you that you were not able to hear. God was right there. So God protects you. This is why you will be rejected. Because God is not going to allow you to go down a hole where you can't dig yourself from. He's not going to allow you to go down a hole where you cannot dig yourself out of that place. So God oftentimes will allow us to be rejected. He will oftentimes will allow people not to give us favor and open doors for us. Not at that moment. Because God knows the entire picture. God knows how this is going to end. And I want you to know that a lot of your relationships, family, they were destroyed because a person did not want to be vulnerable with you. That's pride. God hates pride. Because whenever you are prideful, you won't be able to do right whenever you know you need to do right. It's like whenever you know you hurt somebody's feelings and you know you did that. And you know you're supposed to apologize to that person. You can see the pain on the face of that person. When you open your mouth and you made that smart remark, you can see the pain. And I think all of us has gone through things like that. And I pray that it would teach us to be mindful of our mouths and be mindful of how we say things. Because it's not always what we say. It's the tone. It's how we say. Just like it's not always what we do. It is how we do it. And a lot of people are prideful. A lot of people have been prideful. And they did not want to take accountability for what they've done to you. A lot of people won't take accountability for what they've done, for what they've said. A lot of people will not take responsibility for what they've done to you, for what they've said to you. So you have to make peace with that. And you have to guard your heart and don't allow any of these negative emotions to get on the inside of you, because you cannot make anybody come to you and apologize. You can't make anybody make their wrongs right with you. I want you to make peace with you. And I pray that you can make peace with the situation and the circumstances and all of those little details that the devil bothers you with whenever you go through trauma and whenever you go through pain and heartbreak and disappointments and delays and setbacks. You know that enemy always tries to remind us of all those little intricate details of what people done, how many times they did that, who they did that with. Don't sit and rehearse any negativity that you may have endured in your life, because God allowed you to be rejected because, one, he was protecting you from something that you did not foresee, and God allowed you to be rejected because he has something else better for you up the road. Whatever you're going through right now, I want you to know that this is temporary. This is nothing permanent. And we must be careful whenever we go through things in life that we do not make a temporary problem a permanent problem. Oh, we have a hack of doing that, family. I think we all been guilty of this too, me included. But thank God for his grace, and thank God for his mercy, and thank God for his patience in teaching us how to overcome these things in our life. You're going to make it. You're going to overcome these things. You're going to be a testimony. You're going to give another person a reason of hope. You are. People know, family, that they had pride. People know they were led by pride when they did not want to take responsibility for what they've done to you. They know they were led by their own ego of how they treated you, knowing you didn't deserve it. People know they didn't deserve what you didn't deserve, what they've done to you. I want you to understand this about people. People know what they've done to you was wrong. They know they hurt you. They know that. But you have some people that are driven that much by pride. They're driven that much by their own emotions and by their own ego. They're ego driven. And this is why people rejected you, because of their own ego, family of God. A lot of people didn't want to open up to you because they didn't want to be vulnerable, because they were broken people. And two broken people don't make a whole. Two halves in people and relationships don't make a whole. It's not 50-50. It has to be 100% from each person. Each person has to give 100% because that's equal. You can't give 50 and that other person can't give 40. You can't. You have to have 100% from one and 100% from another. People were driven by their own ego. They were driven by pride. They were driven by pride. This is why some of your relationships did not work. And a lot of people did not open up to you. They refused to open up to you. And some people open up to you to a certain degree, to a certain point. And people pull back from you because they're coming from a broken place, family. People are broken. So we're going to pray for people that God will heal people of their brokenness. And we pray today that any of you who are dealing with brokenness, I pray that God will heal you. I pray you will get in the presence of the Lord and pray that God will heal you of your hurt. Let's continue to pray for one another. Let's continue to encourage one another, because iron sharpens iron, family. I love you. We'll talk later if it's God's will. Thank all of you, family, for supporting the book. Thank you for your cash apps, your super thanks. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for all of your support. Don't get scammed here. I am not reaching out to you. I would never reach out to you. So whenever you get that old ugly reply in that comment section of the videos, delete that reply. It's not going to be me, family. And please don't follow my picture icon no matter where else you see it on social media. I am not there. I am not on Facebook. I am not on Instagram. I am not on these social media platforms. Only follow me right here on this YouTube platform. I love you. Go and have an amazing day, family of God. Stay encouraged. And I want you to know that the best is truly yet to come for you. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you, it is already condemned. God has already condemned that. I want you to know that God has you covered. You hear me? God has you covered. Whatever you're worried about, God has already worked that thing out. God has already worked that out. You have to open up your mouth and you got to look yourself in the mirror and you have to be able to say, God has already worked this problem out because He is. God is in eternity and we are in time. And you may feel like you're running out of time. You may feel like you don't have enough time left to do what you desire to get done. But I beg to differ, because you have enough time. God knows how much time you have left. And not one day will be wasted. All of those years that you think you've wasted, family, all of the times you think you've wasted, all of those opportunities that you thought you lost, that you would never get back, God is going to compensate you for that. He's going to do that. He's going to give you a better opportunity. And that old opportunity that you had before, you're going to forget that you even had it. Because what God is going to do for you next is going to blow your mind. God always has you on His mind. God is always thinking of ways to bless His children. He does. Think on things that are above, not on things that are below. You are the head and not the tail. Don't ever forget it. You are the head and not the tail. I love y'all so much. This is Nikki. It's been a pleasure to come in your homes. It's been an honor for me to encourage you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Anything you need to know about me and how to reach me is in the description box of that video. God is going to give you a good measure, a pressed down, shaken together, and a running over blessing. Men will give back into your bosom, and strangers are going to feed your flock. Keep doing the right thing, family of God. Draw close to God while you can, because His Spirit will not always strive with us. How do you know that God's Spirit is still striving with you? Because you can hear Him and you can receive that conviction in your spirit when you offend or you injure or you hurt someone. So thank God that you can still hear God's voice, and His Spirit is still striving with you, because God's Spirit has left some people, and that is so sad. Talk later. Gotta go, family. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Bye-bye.